Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Heaven's Blood, Stormblood. Today, in the last part, we did Alagana side quests. And now, let's speak with Lise. Excuse me, Krau's with his toy. She hasn't woken up yet. Krau says she's through the worst. Given the severity of her wound, we could have hoped for no more. Let's pray she makes a full recovery. We lost a lot of good people, didn't we? I can't see. Dirty glasses. I saw it happen. When the Skull's commander cut down Mefrit, a single blow. And that was it. Everything he fought for, all his hopes and dreams for the future, gone in an instant. And do you know what the... Do you want to know what the worst part? It wasn't a Garlean who did it. It was an Alamegan. God help me if I ever... No, not now. Not while the general's waiting. Oh, Lise.
Were it not for the swift actions of the Scions and the Alliance, many more would have died. You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
The future? I'm sorry, General, but there is no future for us. We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Mefrit with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of his general. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
Master Kemp, please.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children.
You mean the Skulls? The youths who fight for Xenos?
Grania Lupi, the Black Wolf's legacy and our shame. A unit made up of children born to Alamegan dignitaries who came of age during the occupation. Sons and daughters of Gir Abania, raised to be proud citizens of the Empire, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors, but they're our children. Our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then...
Then what was it all for?
Nargo?
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know. You'll be hard-pressed to find men brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The Warrior of Light included. God help us if he's next in line to the Garlean throne.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varus's heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe?
We take the fight to Doma.
Interesting. You are suggesting we kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more and force Xenos to fight a war on two fronts?
For that, there would need to be someone left to fight on this front by the time you got back. Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised. And I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Have faith in your people, Master Kemp. Them and the Scions. Hold fast, rebuild. And when all is in place, we shall defeat Xenos together.
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there. And make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
Give us the time we need, and we will give you something far greater.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
I can't even complain about the, oh yeah, let's just go save Doma. Because I'm the one who mentioned it. Shoot. Me and my big mouth. Goes without saying, but the Scions alone have not the strength to topple a provincial government here or anywhere else. I'm quite certain the same can be said of the Doman Liberation Front. Nevertheless, we can but go and assess the situation for ourselves and see what can be done. Lest you doubt what good we few can accomplish, I will remind you that my grandfather and his 12 disciples once journeyed to these lands to save Eorzea and her people from certain doom. Brave souls with an impossible task. And Eorzea lives on. Our present mission may not be as monumental in scope, but it is no less important to the multitudes whom we would free from imperial oppression, whom we will free. And I'm now level 68, and I now also know Riddle of Fire. Riddle of Fire is pretty dang good. Increases damage dealt by 25% for 20 seconds with a recast of 90. And I see the side quest. I'm just not even gonna get the lies, damn lies and pirates. I'm not even gonna pick up the West. We're doing the side quests. You would have two, wouldn't you? The Hidden Truth. Ah, Ariana of the Immortal Flames. A moment, if you would. The Alliance has seen fit to charge the Twin Adder with overseeing the occupation of Castrum Oriens for the interim. As an adventurer, I realize it is your wont to attend to matters both great and small in all corners of the realm, though it should go without saying that you must also uphold your obligations to the Immortal Flames and the Eorzean Alliance. Thus, I would ask for your aid in a reconnaissance mission here in the fringes. Pray speak with Lieutenant Moko when you are ready to receive a briefing. She will be overseeing the operation. And she's up there. A good role model. Good day to you, Arya. Still fighting the good fight, I take it. Would that we had more soldiers like you. Cannot speak for the Immortal Flames or the Maelstrom, but we the Twin Adder are not accustomed to combat in such wide open expanses. The beasts that roam these lands are quite dangerous, and to be frank, our new recruits are simply not up to the task of fending them off. For you, I imagine it would be like crushing ants underfoot. That is why I would ask you to give my men a brief lesson in combat by slaying the Antlions at Pike Falls. I instructed them to stay well out of sight, so you should have no trouble fighting without distraction. When you finish, any advice you can offer them would no doubt be invaluable to their training. Alright. No, you are a gatekeeper, you are not who I want. Do my eyes deceive me? It can't be. But it is! Ariana, the Griffin's Bane herself. Yes, the great hero who defeated the Griffin atop Baelsar's Wall, bringing his plans of conquest to a shuddering halt. I can think of no other title that so aptly befits your prowess. Blech. I pity no one else seems to think so. But enough of that. What brings the illustrious Griffin's Bane here to Castrum Oriens? Sergeant Marshal Brookston has requested you assist in my investigation. This is such an honor. I'll do my best not to disappoint you. Ah, goodness me, where are my manners? Tell a Moko military records officer at your service. Cannot offer much in the way of combat, but if you should have any inquiries regarding historical matters, you need only ask. Now then, let me apprise you of our current situation. Shortly after taking control of Castrum Oriens, we discovered a number of confidential documents left behind by the Garleans, prisoner records dating back to the beginning of Alamigo's occupation. As you may have guessed, a great many were conscripted and sent away to subjugate new territories. A surprisingly large number were executed as a reminder of what would happen should any step out of line. What we weren't expecting, however, was this number of prisoners listed simply as whereabouts unknown. We thought perhaps they meant some ill fortune during their imprisonment, or even escape. We could find no other documents to suggest what became of them. Be they living or deceased, it is now our duty to find them. Not just for our own records, mind you, but their beloved ones as well. They deserve the peace of mind of knowing what happened here. Would that this were a recent incident, though. It will be no easy task ascertaining the whereabouts after 20 years, but I believe I know where we might begin our investigation. Be it not to have called these lands home long before even the Alamegans came to settle here. As luck would have it, the Resistance has established cordial relations with their people. Perhaps they remember something of what happened all those years ago. Alright. A second assessment. Oh, you're the adventurer from before. Have you come from more work? Because I certainly do. Could certainly do with an extra hand or two. My analysis of the samples you brought me is coming along quite nicely, but there is one more area I would have you investigate. There's a cavern southeast of here, the Comet's Tail. So apt name for the glowing ore covering its walls and ceiling, as if the gods themselves captured starlight and placed it there. Despite its supposed beauty, however, I have heard reports that the area has been adversely affected by pollution. As before, I need you to procure 3 samples of the soil and 1 of the water so I can ascertain the truth of what happened there. Okay. Alamigan prisoners captured 20 years ago. Yes, I remember when the Garleans gained their foothold here, they interned any and everyone. Striders and Nunta, it mattered not. Most were forced to serve in the Garlean military, dispatched to other lands from which they would never to return. If I'm not mistaken, the prisoners who remained were taken to a small village to the south. Cannot say what transpired there, but the settlement was heavily guarded. I fear the worst for them. Settlement to the south? Why, that would have to be Bittermill. I recall records of its residents seeking asylum in Gridania when the Garleans first arrived. The place was all razed to the ground. It was all but razed to the ground. Let's begin our search there. Perhaps something of value still remains in the rubble. Alright. Now all our side quests are taking us south. Would that we could move faster than a snail. Oh hey, look who's around! It's our good friend Earl. Why does he always spawn here? Oh, almost walked right by you. What are Garleans doing here? You cannot be allowed to leave. Get them! Oh, come on. Okay, I was not ready for a battle. Not fair. Not fair. What? Goodness, that smarts. Perhaps I should have devoted more time to combat training. Though no amount of training would make me a match for the renowned Griffin's Bane. That was a magnificent display. Garlean soldiers were certainly the last thing I expected to find in these abandoned and otherwise forgotten buildings. Managed to catch them unawares, but I'm quite certain this investigation would have ended poorly had you not arrived. Still, I find this quite curious. By all rights, the Garleans should be too busy contending with the Resistance to waste time in a place like this. What are they doing here? I'm afraid our search for answers has only raised more questions. If we are to make sense of any of this, we must search the place from top to bottom after my heart returns to my chest. Breathe. Drawing a blank. Sorry to keep you waiting. I fear the battlefield is no place for a buckworm. If the gods are kind, we'll encounter no further distractions. Let's begin our search. We'd like to cover more ground if we split up. Hopefully there is still some trace of the prisoners left here. Alright. Let's examine this locked door. The cloying scent of rotting debris fills your nostrils. You're unable to discern where the odor is coming from. These footprints. Upon closer inspection of the ground, you see footprints. Some of them appear to be fresh. Alright, I remember this last one being pain in the butt to find. There it is. Just a little bit separated from the others. This house is much too clean to have been abandoned for 20 years. Ah, Arya, thank goodness. Found someone while inspecting the houses. He seems unwell. Unwell? Unwell? No, no, no. Definitely not. Certainly not. Yes, we're quite fine. But what of you? A little girl dressed in strange clothes? Quite strange, quite strange. What? You have some nerve. Regardless of how I look, I'm a ranking officer of the Order of the Twin Adder. Thank you very much. Now, who are you and what business do you have here? Who? Yes, who? An excellent question. You are you, but who are we? Yes, we would like to know very much. Very much. You don't remember? Well, is there anything you can remember? Remember. Yes, something about this place. Something familiar. Quite familiar. Arya, this is only a hunch, mind you. I suspect he is not from this place. Considering he's Elizan, he's likely a Credonian escaped from the Garleans. Or perhaps... Could he be one of the missing prisoners? It would certainly explain the Garlean soldiers from before. We need to take him back for questioning. Excuse me, sir, but would you be willing to come back with us? At the very least, it would be more comfortable than these dilapidated houses, and we may be able to help you recover your memory. Memory. Sweet memories. Yes, we will like them very much. Very much. Alright then, let's return to Castrum Oriens. My browbeating commander will likely wish to meet you. Suppose it can't be helped. However, before I return, I have some other quests to do down here. Hello, Ravana Mount. Oh, I'm like walking right past the tree circuit down here. Good job, Brittany. Good job. Way to properly pay attention, I suppose. What do you need? I need 3 of these. Easy enough. Let's go ahead and start using Riddle of Fire. Again, it's like 25% damage for 20 seconds. It's pretty dang good. In like regular fights, like your trials and whatever, you definitely want to try and stack it with your Demolish because it's going to basically snapshot that. Be like, oh, you've landed this debuff, this damage over time effect while you had this damage boost. Okay, it'll stay there until you apply it again. Yeah, pretty good to have going for you. So that's those. That. Can I back up? One moment. I must go north. Why would it not be south? South would have been more convenient. Just saying. can't be up here. There's one. Where's the other? Hurry, Ariana, the mortal flames. The rumors they were powers do no justice to what I just witnessed. What's your secret? Keep moving and wait for an opening. Seeing your nimble footwork firsthand, it's hard to refute the truth in that. Truth be told, I'm a rather clumsy fellow, but I will practice every day until I am as sure-footed as the illustrious Ariana. Pray excuse me, I need some time to think on this. Oh, there was one south, but there was also one north. Basically my luck, right? Anyway... That is still a really, really big iron giant. I need to avoid these pits because these burrowed antlions will aggro me if I walk into them. Oh no! Oh no! I was hoping you weren't down here. So there's the other A-rank Orcus. It's an honor to meet you, miss. To watch you fight was quite inspiring. Tell me, did you have any tactics in mind before engaging the antlions? Avoiding that one that's sitting right over there. Finding their weak points is key. Yes, of course. I notice how you consistently aim for what seem to be soft spots between their shells plating. Oh, thank goodness. Didn't even have to say it. I would like right around the A-rank. For what seem to be soft spots between their plating. I can't promise your words will remain with me in the heat of battle, but I'll do my best not to disappoint you or my superiors. Alright, hello Orcus. I do not want to play with you, so we're just doing this. Normally I wouldn't, but I don't... He's right in the path, okay? Not fair. So here's the Comet's tail. You can see it's actually pretty pretty. Let's go ahead and inspect these destinations. Is there any... We're looking at probably, yeah, to the east, okay. I believe if I looked at the thing, we have half of them are accessible right now, so... Rather not walk backwards. Let's avoid these goose fish. Oh, okay. I avoided them and then they weren't avoided anymore. Anyway, so there was another way in here that would have been a long way around Orcus. But, because you can come in from this little southern, the Dimwald. But, yeah. Much further around. I was really hoping Orcus wouldn't be down here. Earl's in his favorite spot, so of course Orcus is also in his favorite spot. Did you have trouble procuring the samples? Yes, there was a giant antlion in the way to get there. Yes, this is perfect. Perhaps someday soon we can restore the cave to what it once was. You see, the Comet's Tail was once a place of worship. Legend has it that, as the Great Flood, the six Adblock calamities swept across the Eorzea, Fogger cast a great beacon into the sky that leads people to safety. That beacon would one day fall to Earth, and its remains are what illuminate the cave. The Alamegans placed altars within and would often visit to offer up prayers to Rocker. Of course, that all changed when the Garleans came. No one is certain for what purpose the cave was closed off, but some say it was used as a crude weapons research facility. Whatever the truth may be, I will find it and restore what was taken from the Alamegans. When that day comes, I hope you'll go and pay the Comet's Tail a visit. Hopefully with light, so I can get around Orcus myself. When he inevitably decides to be there again. Welcome back, Thimin. even seem transformed having met you, though I suppose you're accustomed to having that effect on people. Sadly, I have no memorable acts of daring which I can inspire them. Still, I'm heartened to know there are those like you to whom they can look up to, who will inspire them to train harder. I'll be the first to admit I was skeptical when they first began enlisting adventurers in the grand companies, but I'm glad my doubts were proven unfounded. Safe travels, Arya. Possibly one of the missing prisoners, you say. I expected such wild claims from Lieutenant Moko, but if you would corroborate her report, perhaps this warrants investigation. Until further notice, he shall stay under the protection of the Orsian Alliance. Sir, with all due respect, you cannot jest. Lieutenant Moko, get this man a hot meal and a warm bed. When he's had a bit of rest, see what he knows of Bittermill and the Garleans. It should not be long before we reach a resolution to all this. You're free to wait here until she finishes questioning our new detainees. Seeking answers. I imagine Lieutenant Moko has finished questioning the detainee by now. Go and see what, if anything, she's learned. And here, right back here. Oh, Arya, I've just finished with questioning. Fortunately, he can recall absolutely nothing else past. The only thing he's certain of is that he escaped from Garlean captivity, beginning to believe he really is one of the missing prisoners. But where does Bittermill fit into all this? I fear we've reached an impasse. It's not as if we can ask the Garleans what they were doing there. Or perhaps we can! The soldier who escaped us earlier must know something to have been prowling around the area. He has to be taken into custody. Come, Arya, we must speak with Serpent Merchant Brookstone about assembling a search party. No stone can be left unturned. And back around. You wish to capture the soldier you encountered at Bittermill? Well, you should know I've already dispatched a reconnaissance team. So reading Lieutenant Moko's reports, I thought it prudent he be apprehended immediately. However, therein lies the rub. We lack the manpower to sufficiently survey the area. In fact, I was just deliberating over who I should send to make a sweep of Owen's stash. There's no need for that, sir. Arya and I will go. I realize I'm not the ideal scout to assist in this, but we have to find them. Alright. How far? Okay. Just gotta avoid Earl. I have a few bitter memories of getting absolutely destroyed by an A-rank in Shadowbringer, so I avoid them now when I'm not with a group. If they're above my level. Yeah. Nothing like minding your own business and suddenly you're being stabbed in the back. Yeah. It's great. Amazing. Love it. On your guard, Arya. I have a bad feeling about this place. Found them, Arya. We really found them. What are you? Oh, these wounds. If he's not treated soon, he won't be telling anyone anything. He's like to bleed out if left unattended. Go and tell Serpent Marshal Brookstone we found him, and he needs medical assistance before he can be moved. Alright. I'm just going to do this way to get back. My men have searched high and low, yet there's no sign of this runaway soldier. You found him in Owen's stash? Say no more. Attention, this is Brookstone speaking. The subject has been found at Owen's stash. I repeat, the subject has been found at Owen's stash. He's severely wounded and in need of medical attention. Excellent work. Perhaps now we can finally get to the bottom of all this Bittermill business. Alright. The honest truth. By all rights, my men should be back by now. Go and see if you can find Lieutenant Milko. I want to know what those Garlean dogs were up to. Arya, I'm happy to report we managed to bring him back safely and not a minute too soon. I plan to speak with him shortly after returning, but the healers won't permit anyone to see him until he's settled and the bleeding stopped. Imagine we won't have to wait very long. Alright, let's just chill. Seems he's finally fit to speak. Don't expect you to be grateful, but I'd like to remind you, you likely wouldn't be standing here if we hadn't found you in that cave. I'll start talking. What were you doing out there at Bithermill? We were looking for someone. An escapee from one of our facilities. He lost his memory and was otherwise mentally unstable, so he knew he couldn't have gone far. I believe the man you're speaking of is already in our custody. We found him seeking shelter in Bithermill. He claims you captured him, though he cannot recall where. So he returned to Bithermill after all. I guess the past came back to haunt him, even if he can't remember it. Listen, my superiors are not like to show you any leniency. If you tell me everything you know, I will do all within my power to see your life is spared. Do we have a deal? Miss, I may be dressed in their uniform, but you'd be mistaken to believe I owe the Garleans any allegiance. I will gladly tell you. 20 years ago, a group of prisoners was relocated to Bithermill to assist in the Garleans' more unorthodox experiments. They wanted to create a new chemical weapon, one that would leave buildings untouched while killing any and everyone it came into contact with. Black Rose, I believe it was called. That's horrible. Their intention was to drive back Eorzean forces without wasting any of their own on the front lines. Of course, they wouldn't know if it really worked without willing volunteers. And what better place in the village long since abandoned by its people? Not a single prisoner survived. Their test proving a resounding success, it was only a matter of time before Black Rose would be deployed. Or so they thought. To the surprise of many, the project was shut down before Black Rose could ever be used. The order came from the legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion and an interim leader of the Alamegan province, the Gaius Van Baelsar. The Black Wolf would not allow the senseless murdering of Eorzea's people. He saw them as future subjects of the Empire to be ruled, not savages to be slaughtered. Everything was to be destroyed, but the man behind the project would not see his work wasted, and ran off with the last remaining samples of Black Rose. He was promptly apprehended, but he'd already hidden away his work. They used every heinous tool at their disposal to make him talk, yet he wouldn't, or rather could not, tell them where he hid it. The doctor had already gone mad and couldn't remember a thing. I can only assume one of his experiments went wrong and ruined his mind in the process. Then that means the man we found earlier. Aye, that's him. Grillemai, former head of research for the 14th Imperial Legion. That took a turn. Can't believe that incoherent mess of a man was a scientist in the service of the Garleans. I think we've heard enough. Thank you for your cooperation. What do you think, Arya? A part of me wants to believe it isn't true, but I see no reason why he would lie to us. There has to be some way to substantiate his story. If the entirety of Bithermill was used for their experiments, it would be no easy feat to do away with the evidence of such a massive operation. No, there would have to be some lingering traces of their work. And if they couldn't dispose of it, their only option would be to bury it. Arya, we have to go back to Bithermill. Okay. Alright, let's flip. There has to be something here. I'm not leaving until we find it. Alright. Maybe this is the quest I was thinking of. That was a pain in the behind to find the... Oh. Come on. Midgard, Summer. You can do it. There's nothing back here. No, my hard work. Do this. Alright. See if I... find it. Is it back here? No. Yes? Your digging reveals a small metal container, but you probably shouldn't touch it. Lieutenant Moko will not want to know what you found. No. You found something? A metal container? Could it be? The missing sample of Black Rose? So he was telling the truth after all. There's no time to be sentimental, nor hasty. Any mishaps in handling that container could prove disastrous. Let's report back to Serpent Marshal Brookstone. Lieutenant Mogul reporting, sir. We discovered the identity of the man we thought to be one of the missing prisoners. His name is Grill Armé, former chief of the research for the 14th Imperial Legion, who oversaw the manufacturing of the chemical weapon known as Black Rose. After a thorough survey of Bittermill, we've discovered what we believe to be a sample of this weapon. We'd like to request assistance in retrieving it. Attention, this is Brookstone. The container we believe to be a Garling chemical weapon has been discovered at Bittermill. I need you to get out there and retrieve it immediately. As for the missing prisoners, they were used as test subjects for Black Rose. There were no survivors. Sir, I don't believe we should allow the risk of such a weapon falling into the wrong hands. I agree, Lieutenant. After the weapon has been safely moved to a secure location, rest assured we'll see to its disposal. As for Grill Armé, his fate resides with the Council. Considering the weight of his crimes, his punishment will be quite severe. I almost pity the man. But memories or no, his crimes cannot be excused. Lieutenant Moko, Arya, you've done well today, and I'm sure you're both quite tired. Go and rest. You've earned it. Actually, I think I'll head back to Gridania to write up a report. The events of Bittermill need to be recorded, that we might prevent such atrocities from happening again. I wish I could accompany you a while longer, but I'm sure the Great Griffin's Bane is needed elsewhere. Thank you again for all of your help. I look forward to adding your feats of daring to our record someday. Yay, we did it! We did it. Lies, damn lies, and pirates. Where men go as one, there is life, and where there is life, there is cause to hope. Our grandfather believed that, and so do I. But before we can forge ties with our friends in the Far East, we must first find a way to reach them. Although is not exactly over the river and through the woods. I was going into the song. I'm one step ahead of you, dear sister, or rather, Tataru is. But before we discuss that, there's another issue I wish to address. Much as I would like it if we could all make this journey together, someone will need to remain to serve as liaison to the Alliance and the Resistance during this critical period. Moreover, as Ishtola cannot be left unattended, I should obviously remain. Very well, issue addressed. You know, Alphino, we've been quicker just to ask, and markedly less patronizing. Yes, I suppose, would you be willing to look after Ishtola and provide support to Arenveld and the others? Yes, Alphino, I would. You see, that wasn't so hard, was it? Enjoy your trip, and don't you dare return with a gift. Oh, I would not dream of it. Right then, sister, Arya, Lise, gather your things. We are for Limsa Lominsa. Over the river and through the woods to Limsa Lominsa we go. Alfie, now there you are. Tatara should be here any moment with our ship's captain. So we're going by sea after all. Is Merla lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Not exactly. You are right, as much as we will be traveling by sea. Regrettably, it's simply not feasible for an airship to travel such a distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running afoul of the Empire's aerial defenses. But then it is equally infeasible to sail in the Northern Alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice. Which leaves us with only one other option. Speak of the devil. Sorry to keep you waiting. May I present you with Captain Carvalane of the Kraken's Arms. The Kraken's Arms? Don't tell me you made deals with pirates! Greetings and salutations, Scions. I take it from your comrade's tones that you no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement? Not at all, Captain, and pray forgive my sister for her outburst. She has everyone to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many well-respected personages would attest, from the offices of the Admiral to the high houses of Ishgard. But where was I? Oh yes, the Scions of Seventh Dawn do indeed still wish to employ your services. However, it is important that you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. And intent on securing passage to the far east, you came to us knowing us to be the proud purveyors of said region's finest spaces, which you steal from God-fearing merchants out on the high seas. Whatever privateering the Kraken's Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law, as set forth by our indefatigable keeper of the peace. More to the point, we are pragmatists. I see considerable risk in aiding your cause and negligible profit. Oh, I, for one, think that the captain has a point. The five seas can be extremely treacherous, and many a poor, unfortunate soul has come to grief out there on the waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir of the House Durendir vanished at sea. Even now, nearly 20 years later, the poor Count remains convinced his son still lives, would pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Truly a tragedy for the ages, and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us should we act without due consideration. But so long as you are prepared to abide the capricious whims of fate, I am willing to oblige you this once. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand that I cannot deliver you the Doma itself. I can only take you as far as Kugane in Hingashi. We will require time to procure sufficient provisions and make ready for departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. Suddenly, all those hours Tataru passed cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seem rather better spent, do they not? That said, I had intended to pressure the point more obliquely, and there was something disconcerting about the pleasure Tataru took in making Captain Carvalane squirm. Tales from the Far East. I say, we should heed the captain's advice and attend to our own preparations while they ready the vessel for departure. Tataru and I will procure the necessary supplies. Alize, I should be grateful if you would use the time to brief Urianger on recent developments. You may also wish to review the relevant safety procedures in the event of an emergency at sea. Wow, how very prudent of you. Very well, I shall go and speak with him. What of Arya and Lys? I would like the two of you to return to Revenant's Toll and speak with our Doman allies. I fear we know too little of their homeland, and any information they can provide would be most welcome. When we have completed our respective tasks, we will reconvene here at the ferry docks. Agreed? Sounds like a plan. Let's go, Arya. Well, here we are. We'll need to talk to lots of people, so I think we should split up. I'll ask around the House of Splendor. You take the Rising Stones. We'll meet here after. Got it? Okay. Hello, Home. You were truly planning to travel to Doma? I don't know what to say. Forgive me. I shall aid you to the best of my ability. Ours is a beautiful land, nestled on the eastern coast of Othard. Along the banks of the One River, our nation thrived, proud and free, until the Garleans came 25 years ago. The river was our lifeblood, free to travel and to fish, but travel was soon restricted, and now the river belongs to none. Greetings, Arya. What brings you to the Toll this day? What? You are for Doma? Heavens! These scions have shown us naught but kindness, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine we would fight for our homeland. For 25 years we suffered under their tyranny, and then we spied an opportunity. The Emperor, dead! Garlemald, in chaos! It seemed the time was right. Beneath our Lord's banners we gathered, and fought to reclaim our nation. When Zenith arrived with the 12th Legion, it was over in an instant. Yeah, I know that feeling. What is it, my friend? You look as though you have something to ask. Then you go to join Yugiri and go Setsu, and the fight fills me with such joy. Ah, forgive my exuberance. You require information, yes? We of the Nage clan have served Doma faithfully for generations. My ancestors held positions within Doma Castle even. Now it is home to the Imperial Viceroy's Witch and our host of Men and Magitek. To think that what was once the shining symbol of our heritage and the seat of our dear Lord Kyan has become a den for Garlean dogs. There you are! Learn anything interesting? The elder Domans I spoke with tried to teach me all about Far Eastern customs and the importance of formality and politeness. I'd like to think Eorzeans can just be as stiff and sticky as anyone, especially as guardians. But anyway, did you know they eat with sticks? It was not that hard actually, or at least that's what I thought until they told me I was holding them wrong. Then when I spoke about the younger Domans, they just rolled their eyes and told me it was all as low this stupid old, Wow, what you learned sounds a lot more useful. Unless someone invites us for dinner, of course. I hope they do. Hey, question mark, question mark, question mark. Not without incidents. Right, no point waiting around here, is there? Should head back to Limsa Lominsa. I think they'll send me at the ferry docks, I think. Alright, we're gonna want to go to the Arcanist Guild. Actually, like, Limsa's actually loading really fast for me right now. I don't know what's going on. Limsa does not load that fast. I say that now. Here we are. I had to say it. Had to say it. You return to Arya. I trust you learned much from our Roman friends in Revenant's Toll. I'm eager to hear all, though that can wait until we have left port. We'll have time enough to talk on our journey to Kugane. Our spice trading friends have completed their preparations. Assuming you have completed yours, you may inform the deckhand that we are ready to depart. All set, lass? I'll see you to the ship if so. Alright, let's board the Misery.
XII be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Urianger! Tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import. Look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
A parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Impressive. It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
A fine day, is it not? Fair winds and following seas. The Misery is enjoying herself. Nevertheless, it would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
Is it supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water. Things that shouldn't be there.
Oh, for the love of... If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Hello, person. Hello, other person. Odd. Most odd. Well, do you have any idea what's going on? No. As the man said, despite the absence of wind and current, the misery is somehow being pulled off course. Well, why not fire the cerulean engines you have hidden below? An excellent suggestion based on knowledge you should not have. Alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for reasons that escape my engineers at present. Telling you, Captain, it's them things the lad saw. Things? I don't suppose I could convince you to attempt something more descriptive? An adjective, for example. See about superstitions and fairy tales, not more. But you must know, the things which he is so reticent to name... What's going on with my OBS? My computer is being jerked. So reticent to name are the souls of deceased women said to lure sailors to their death. Preposterous. Yes, indeed. If it was neither the sea nor the weather which is responsible, then it's probably a predatory entity of some sort. Perhaps a siren or some such. For all we know, it could have been a fellow spice trader employing magic to seize and plunder passing vessels. Regardless, we have but one recourse, to let the current take us where it will and deal with whatever we find there. What a thoroughly pragmatic suggestion. Oh, I am beginning to like you, girl. I assure you the feeling is not mutual. Once we arrive at our destination, be it a vessel or an island or something else, Lisa and I will remain with the ship to defend it in case of attack. Arya, I believe you would be the ideal choice to venture forth and deal with the cause of our troubles. Who else? This is settled. I know not what awaits us, but it will rue the day it reeled us in. The Siren Song C is now accessible. Finally! Oh my gosh. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be available by like the 3rd or 4th part of Stormblood. I'm like, no. No. I forgot how much stuff happened first. So, on that note, I am going to call it there. Oh, there's the entrance. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps her keep being content like this and more. Excuse me. You can find links for that in the description along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!